I was reading this article that came back out on June 2nd, and it was just talking about how Love and Marriage Huntsville, Martell Holt shares his regrets about his infidelity in marriage to ex Melody. And a part of it that kind of stood out to me was
Synquette, man, a girl was heaven sent. Synquette, man, a girl was heaven sent.
I'm glad Martell is accepting responsibility, or at least accountability, for his actions. I really I'm learning that relationships really are complex and there's no cookie cutter way to go about them, because I understand traditional roles, like, the husband traditionally takes care of the house and the home, goes out, makes the bacon, and the woman, he brings it home and the woman cooks it. But according to Martell, the roles kind of switched. Like, Melody's business started booming, things started taking off for her, and he was left raising or doing the child rearing. And according to him, he wasn't getting as pleased as he wanted to, and that's why he decided to dip out. And now he says he understands that was childish to do, but I just feel like I wish he could have held on, because eventually things would have balanced themselves out. Sometimes I think, we all hear, don't make permanent decisions off of like temporary emotions, because granted, if the roles were reversed, we know, or at least I feel like for most women, and especially Melody, she would be 10 toes down for Martell. So even if he wasn't coming home pleasing her and bearing the burden of the child raising, she would be down for it. She would make it work. And I appreciate that about being a woman. Sometimes we really do know how to make $1 out of 15 cents. We would just make it work. And I just feel like I wish men would reciprocate that, or that will become more trendy or popular, because in marriages, the dynamics probably do change. And then we can't, as women, it would be frowned upon if, let's say, Martell wasn't holding up his traditional views, his traditional values, and making the money. It would be frowned upon if Melody was like, all right, let me close up shop and find somebody with more money. People was already upset. I seen a little stuff going around social media about Tiffany. When they said Tiffany wanted that, she broke up with her first husband or something like that for more money. See how that was frowned upon? So it's just it's just an interesting situation. But I'm so glad that Martell has come to realize, the grass isn't always as greener. And relationships take work. I really feel like that's the thing that I'm learning. It is not all rainbows and butterflies and Disney fairy tales. I'm pretty sure there's going to be times where that happens, but also, like I said, when the dynamics change, when someone has to work more or career change, things like that, those rough parts you kind of have to work through together. Speak to your spouse, talk to them. Let's talk it out. Let's work it out before you go put your hand to something and just destroy or break down what me and you built together. So that's just what I got from what Martell said. And he mentioned, I would have accepted certain things that my wife wasn't doing. Some of my complaints, I could have held on a little longer before taking matters into my own hands. No, Martell, you shouldn't take matters into your own hands at all. Just talk it out with Melody. Because we were a great couple. Near like a perfect couple. We both got busy and I started complaining about things like that. And I feel like if I just had accepted certain things, because when I look back now, it's it wasn't that serious. But when you're in the moment, it feels otherwise. You got this amazing marriage and these amazing children. You're about to go and mess it up, right? It's just, like I said, the tide would change. Eventually, I know that things would balance itself out. And if, Martell even probably talked to Melody, I just feel like they had the type of village and tribe where, even if the grandmoms had to come in and kind of help with the burden of the children and stuff, so maybe they can have their own date night or week together, or Melody could take some time off her business. I just really feel like they could have made that work. His complaints aren't that serious. Now, We're equal opportunity. Now, Melody was like talking down to him, like messing with self-esteem, calling him stupid, ugly, or something like that, because we wouldn't accept that if a man was doing that to a woman. Then okay, if anybody was putting their hands on anybody, then okay, like we understand that, not being this something, but this is just management stuff, like things that literally could be moved around and worked out. So and then, like I said, as I'm talking, it's like I'm also talking to myself, because sometimes we have to remind ourselves that too, because like Martell said, we said it was real to me. We said, like, when you're in the moment, it feels like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, it feels like it's really that deep. But, once you take some time, when you lead a situation, you like can see things from a different perspective. You're like, it wasn't even that serious. You know what I mean? What I had was not worth what I got now, or what I had was really good. It's not easy to come by. What he had with Melody, and that's what some men have to realize. Like, if you find a good woman, and some women, if you find a good man, it's not as easy to come by as you think, especially, I guess you got to figure out what's worth it and what's not worth it for you. And that's probably different for everybody. But I feel like he said, that thing that they had, him and Melody had together, you don't come across that too often. And I know he regrets that. But nevertheless, he can always write a book about this. He can start a blog about this and just talk about what he learned and what he realized to kind of, help other men that could feel like, do I want to, do I not? It may be other women. So let me not try to say that only men cheat or something like that, or step out on their wives. Infidelity on either part is traumatic for the parties involved. So yeah, and also this article mentions that Martell also made it clear that he never thought his marriage would end, and that if given another chance, he would be with Melody again. That's like, so, see, he knows, he really, to me, he's realizing like, dang, I really had a good thing. But also, I would like to hear a little bit, he's taking accountability, but a little bit, I feel like he's not, because I would have liked to hear something where Martell could have just mentioned like what he could have did going forward. Like, he could, like, all right, I realized that I seen my wife, she was balancing a lot. I wish I could have helped her take off the load more. Maybe give some suggestions on what he would do differently, and not just, she was working so much and that's why I decided to cheat because money, instead of that. Like, I would like to hear just a little bit, teeny more accountability, but it's okay. That's just me. You ain't gotta be married to me, but that's just how I'm thinking about it. And I really realized, like, Martell, all the disrespect he was doing, all the betrayal, everything that he did, not trying to justify it either, but the more I think about it, the more I see how hurt he is too. So he's lashing out at Melody at every chance he can get, doing the most, really trying to hurt her and make sure she really feels how he's actually feeling. Like, in a way, it does seem like a little projection, because when Melody says she'll never get back with him, she mentioned when a person does so much and kind of shows you their character, shows you their lack of morals, integrity, and different things like that, why would you want to be with someone like that? It's just not anything that even crosses my mind. Honestly, it doesn't. And I feel like she probably seen this out of Martell once the cheating and infidelity starts. So meaning like the 14 years when they were together, they probably was cool. Like, everything was fine. Like, he probably had good character. So he's really just lashing out because of this situation. And I hope, Melody and other women, I don't know, I'm starting to just realize that not to take that betrayal and disrespect personally, because they're just really hurt. Like, they're hurting, so they want you to hurt. Like he said, he never thought that she would leave. So, but the fact that she did his disrespect, his actions is almost like a physical cussing out, kind of like, how dare you? So let me make life for you difficult. Let me do the most. You know what I'm trying to say? I hope that makes sense. But it makes sense in my head. But yeah, y'all.